how destroyed. I don't take joy in this. I just understand what my job is from Yahweh. I get that. I don't take joy in this. To see, a great man of the Lord just overwhelmingly, bestowed with the knowledge of the Most High, understanding and prophecies and things of that nature of the Hebrew. To see him become what he has become, it doesn't feel good to me. But it all starts with pride. Pride, give me the scripture, pride separate from the Lord.
Sirach, the beginning of pride. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That one right there. It all started with pride, and it all goes back really to, and the Most High did him cold too. The Most High really, what frustrates, and part of what Tahar doesn't like is the fact that how the Most High has magnified his students. Because I'm going to tell you something about Bishop Nathaniel and why he has such a bone to pick with him. That's Bishop Nathaniel used to be Tahar's reader. You see what I'm saying? It'd be like me and Assad. And now me and Assad done built up some gigantic camp, and I'm sitting here mad. And the Most High just dwindled everything for me. And I'm mad. I'm talking about now, Assad, you said I'm not a prophet, man. Your ass don't blame. Nah, man. But just to understand the dynamic of the relationship is similar. Maybe not as close as me and Assad, but Nathaniel comes up from under Elder Apostle Tahar. Right? I come up from under Elder Apostle Tahar. So to see certain things and to see the Most High magnifying the ministry of his students while his is diminished, that plays with his pride and his ego. But not realizing that pride and ego is actually what led to the diminishing of the ministry. You ain't got to be upset that the Most High has magnified somebody else's ministry. Right? He can magnify all of our ministries. It don't got to be one or the other. Right? Well,
Proverbs 17:15, and this is Al-Azhar. This scripture describes you, Al-Azhar. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord. You're going to sit there and go past all that damn going off that Bishop Nate been doing. From the mark, and you teach the mark of the beast is the chip, and Bishop Nate don't, and you ain't even rebuking him. You are guilty on so many levels. You are guilty on so many levels. You're going to overlook all the iniquity and the going off of Bishop Nate. He don't teach the name. He teach sex on the Sabbath. He said Esau gonna come back after 1,000 years to take us down. He broke down the mark of the beast wrong. Not to mention he changed his breakdown of the mark of the beast numerous times, at least 4 by my count. He said there's no Jacob's trouble. You gonna overlook all of that to try to hurl a stone and say the Apostle Tahar is guilty of being jealous of any man, let alone Bishop Nate over a goddamn $150 million or however many, whatever you think he's jealous of. Why would you be jealous of a false prophet? Or bigging him up and trying to step on your teacher once again. And this is abominable, low down, dirty shit. And it is a deflection tactic from a carnal, weak, small-minded, big-headed, petty man.
We at Zakari are in unison with IUIC.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Recha Ha Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, you fellow believers of this faith, this ministry. That includes you sisters that support the ministry as well, and shalom to the elect. So I want to go on a response video off of GMS South Carolina, Elder Manat Zatba. He did a video titled Jealousy, a Carnal Deflection Tactic Used by Al-Azhar Hoover, right? So I want to talk about that a little bit because there's some things he said, and I watched the video, 28 minutes. Yeah, I watched the video. I'm pretty much at the end, and the elder made some great points, exactly what I would have said, but I want to add some, as you go into it, you start thinking, I want to show you that they felt the same hatred towards Yahushua. These men that is deflecting, and that's a good title because they're deflecting, making it seem like Elder Apostle Tahar is jealous of them when it's really the opposite way around, right? It's really this man Alazar Zakari, he has jealousy. A lot of times when people leave Great Millstone, they think Great Millstone is, he said, is what, diminished? Or is, I guess because he left, it become diminished. But since when does correcting people become an issue? And the jealousy comes because we have that truth, right? And we say 100% truth according to doctrine. That's where the jealousy. And when you look at, and I'll give some examples of Yahushua, right? It wasn't about numbers, right? You had multiple people in the synagogues, right? And this is why Yahushua would tell them in Matthew 23, we'll get that in a second, do as they say, but don't do as they do. We'll get some examples. But first I want to go to 2 Timothy, right? 2 Timothy 4:2. Let's see what it says. Preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering in doctrine. Now, I remember Elder Apostle Tahar, even back in the day, had the hopes that Bishop Nathaniel would come around. There's no jealousy in that. And even myself believed that he took that bag and that $150 million that he had gifted to him, by the way. I looked at his tax records. When you sell out with that kind of money, it's almost no coming back. Unless the Lord sees, through all things, the Lord is, do all things is possible with the Lord. But he gave him up like that for a reason. So I don't know. But what I am saying is Elder Apostle Tahar knows this man, right? Been around this man more than I do. That's why I don't have the same kind of feelings, right? So it makes sense that he wanted this man to repent. That's why we're doing these videos. And now they're not getting it. And now he's just wrecking the doctrine, man. And as Elder Manatazat said, that he believes in the mark. Bishop the IUIC don't believe in the mark, right? All the Christian doctrine that they've obtained, Sakari don't believe. They believe you're only supposed to have one wife, right? Until Isaiah 4:1. So basically, IUIC is flipping on and off laws to fit their doctrine. They're literally saying you can only have one wife in this captivity, as HODC teaches. They're just making it up. But there's nothing illegal about having more than one wife. I suggest a man have one wife or none at all if that's the case. But you can't make it a doctrine and say you can't have more than one wife when and clearly he teaches that when Isaiah 4:1 happened, then you can have more than one wife. What happens when you got a house and you got different doctrines in a house? When you got children believing in different doctrines in one household, that brings nothing but confusion. Right? Let's go to this word. Preach the word in season, out of season, which they don't do. Exhort, what I believe Sakari does, but they don't. All the things Sakari is doing, but then Sakari don't believe in all the letters of Paul, but they believe in the letters of Paul. Like, what's going on here? Reprove, G1651, the hell doctrine. And the list goes on, man. So, if these two camps came together, because they said they're united with IUIC, so if these two camps come together and somebody comes up and asks what's the mark of the beast, what do they say? Well, we don't know. We got to work it out. When clearly Paul said, in Peter's 3:15, always be ready to answer a question for a man for a reason of hope. What do you say? What about hell? What did you say? What about wives? What did you say? How the hell are you united, man? Anyway, let's see what reprove means.
Strong's G 1651. Eleg ho. Eleg ho.
To convict, to expose, to find fault with. So when did it become a sin to find fault? When it comes to cleaning up the doctrine. As the elder also brought out Romans 16 and 17, mark them that cause division. It says generally to shame a person convicted. This goes for our own. This is what you do to correct. Anyway, now it's time to get some examples. Let's go to Matthew, and there's several examples in here, right? Let's go to Matthew 27. Where are we at? 27 and 15. Now, at the feast, can you imagine Yahushua when he came on the scene? And he was in Matthew 13 and 9 when he said it's given to you to know the mysteries, but to them is not given. I wonder, when you deal with numerology, what numbers did Yahushua have on his side opposed to the other people that claim they knew the law and believed? It's not about a large number. And where the jealousy comes in, this man with the smaller number, Yahushua with the smaller number of men, is coming and changing things that they thought was right. It says, where am I at? I lost where I was. Right. Now at the feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner, whom they would, and they have then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto him, whom will that I release unto you, Barabbas or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him, right? For envy they had delivered him. When he was first set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent him, saying, have thou nothing to do with this just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua. Right? I'm not going to read all that, but you can read it. And we're going to look up this word envy. We're going to look up this word envy. And let's see what this word envy says. It says, painful, resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with a desire to possess the same advantage. So no matter how many men you get, no matter how many people you get, as much as you get, and you change the doctrine, and then when somebody comes that's a so-called smaller group, according to what they say, that comes and tell you you're doing wrong, he believes, Bishop Nathaniel believed, because he got the numbers, that he's correct. And then when Elder Apostle Tahar and the rest of the men of great, other apostles and bishops and brethren correct Bishop Nathaniel, he becomes envious. And then he start calling us bum Israelites. Then they call us rapists. Oh, but Sakari, I don't think, will correct him for that. In fact, they said the same thing. This is what envy and maliceness does. To desire to possess the same advantage. No matter what, you can't accept that you don't have the truth, right? And no matter what you come out with, we come with another form of resistance against that false doctrine, that hell doctrine, the mark. And they know it. That's why he changed up the mark of the beast scriptures. This is why he changed up the wife. He didn't believe in one wife, right? Now he believes in more than one wife, but only in Isaiah 4:1. That's what they do, because they know they don't have the juice. They don't have the oil, man. That's what that's going into. They don't have the oil. Let's go to John. John 8 and 48. I think I'm going to get down to the point. And it says, art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead, whom makest thou thyself? Yahushua says here, Jesus answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me, right? Of whom ye say that ye is your God, right? Then it goes on to say, yet ye have not known him. So here's this man, Yahushua, right? Spiritual, greatest man to walk the planet, right? Here's this man, fewer in number, damn near by himself, telling all these people that claim they knew the laws that they're going off. Watch what happens. But I know him, and if I should, this is John 8 and 54. And if I should say I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you. but I know him and keep his sayings. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then said the Jews unto him, Thou art not 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? It says, Hast thou seen Abraham? Let me see. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then said the Jews to him, Thou art not 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? Jesus, Yahushua, said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Then this is what they did. Then they took up stones to cast it at him. And that's what they do when they sit up there. We correct them on doctrine. You know what they do? They bring out these false claims, these false allegations. You got the scoffers are doing pages of old videos and saying that we're rapists of 12-year-olds. And this group, IUIC, said we are rapists of 9-year-olds. That's what they said. No correction on that, though. Yeah. Anyway, they took up stones and cast it at him, but Yahushua hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. So he went in there amongst all these people, all these men. So this is one man, and he might have had other men with him, not sure, who stood up against all these men, right? So we cannot sit up there and say that's what it was about numbers, because Bishop Nathaniel got all these numbers. Basically, he's saying that Bishop Nathaniel camp has grown. When you're trying to save souls and you're trying to reach the elect, it's not about the camp. It's about the elect who may be in that camp. We even teach that the elect may be in them camps and try to come out of there. You know, I don't see no personal vendetta against Bishop Nathaniel except the fact that he's going off on doctrine. This man literally, Deacon Shakia left him because he was taking holding on to penis pictures. He just did a video on adultery and had a picture of the man's penis up in the corner circled with a yellow circle. So something is wrong in this camp. The thievery and all the theft that went on in this camp, all the women that they hurt up in that camp, by the way. I'm not advocating for a bunch of women, but you sisters, you had to learn the hard way, like we had to learn the hard way on certain things in life. All these things, the abuse, death, murder, deceit, you can write a goddamn novel, book in this group, right? That's why when you look at the word, Matthew 23, it said, woe to you Pharisees, you scribes, and hypocrites, right? Hypocrites mean actors. When you see an actor, actors bring in crowds. That's what all these guys are. They're hypocrites and actors. Everybody comes to see a play. Everybody comes, right, to sit in the audience. That's what everybody comes to do. So if you're an actor, that's why you attract so many people. That's why you attract so many people who just want to see the theater, right? They want to see the drama. They want to get on to YouTube. They're bored in their lives, and this brings excitement. So they pay $5 or $10 like they would pay to go to a movie, to watch your live streams. That's what that's all about. And all these scoffers that monitorize and get their channel set up, they do the same thing. Then it burns out, right? And then when they take all your money, they leave you behind. They shut down their channels, like that Rap the News character, like the Branches of Baltimore, those guys, right? Like the Milwaukee guys, like the Yakanans, and, you know, all the other Israelite groups. Talking about scoffers that came up, popped up, monetized, made money, and then they disappeared. Anyway, not much to say on this. I'm going to read a little bit of commentary on Matthew 23. You can also see when he healed the man at the pool of Bethesda, also the other situation where he healed that man, and then they had an issue with him because they were jealous of him, and that's why they called him the devil. That's why when it says He said, how can Satan cast out Satan? They had a problem with this man being one man doing these miracles and reaching the people. And they had a problem with that. Right? So it's not about numbers. And remember the story when they came for the loaves and the bread? He said the people came from the loaves and the fishes. That's all these actors do, man. They set up these schemes and make these videos. When their content gets low, they try to talk something great and come against Great Millstone just so they can get a little bit more content. That's all that is. Anyway, the scribes and Pharisees explain the law of Moses and the forced obedience of it. They are charged with hypocrisy, which means actor, right? In religion, we can only judge according to the outward appearance, but God searches the heart. They made the phylacteries. These were scrolls of papers and parchments were written with four paragraphs on the law to be worn on their forehead and their left arms. They made their phylacteries broad that they might be thought to be more zealous for the law than others. This sounds like this group. God appointed the Jews to make fringes upon their garments. When are these groups going to start correcting the other groups for going off? They will never talk about them. But you see the respect of persons. Sakari will talk about the ISUPK because ISUPK got the beef with IUIC. So you can clearly see they're not about following up the word of the Lord. They're only filling their own bellies, man. Anyway, that's why they teach you it's all about following the laws, right? But they're not even following the laws. It says the Jews to make fringes upon their garments, Numbers 15:38, to remind them of their being a peculiar people. Okay, so here's the point. They get on us about not wearing fringes all day, every day to work. Why? Because the fringes are in us. Yahushua is that reminder. That's why the whole ceremonial part of the law, as far as the sacrifice, let me say that, has been done away with. We do these things because of the first commandment. That's why we still wear our fringes to teach, because it still is a reminder. But Yahushua brings that remembrance, because that proves it. That's why you need it. Yahushua brought us back through mercy. He didn't need us to do these certain particular parts of the law. He didn't need us to do fringes and phylacteries and wear tefillins on our head. Now we have the law in us, man. Now we're trying to follow the best we can in our spirits. Because you had people remind you of fringes. What happened to IUIC? They were wearing fringes and committing adultery. Even in ancient times, they were wearing fringes in the churches. What were they doing? So it's bigger than fringes. It's about faith. Hebrews 11:1. Anyway, but the Pharisees made them larger than common, as if they were thereby more religious than others. That's why they got the big purple fringes, right? That's why they got the long special garments. These are nothing but Pharisees reincarnated, man. And then you got the Sicariites, the rebels right with them. It's all reincarnation, right? Yahushua takes all occasions to speak against, for him that taught in the word to give respect to him that teaches commendable. For him that teacheth to demand to be puffed up with it is sinful. How much is all against the spirit of Christianity? The disciple of Yahushua pained by believing to put into chief places. But this is why they have these arguments with these Christians, and they have such a big raging fight, debates. With us is different. We won't go into the law on that level like they do. We go into the law because we follow the law, right? But they're teaching like the law is going to save you. But Revelation 2:10, they can't explain that. Be faithful unto death, right? There's going to be a tribulation. There's going to be something that's going to come upon you. He said they will cast you into prisons. Be faithful unto death. What does that mean? If you're going to be cast into prisons, that means, okay, you were following the law, but you're still getting cast into prisons. So at the end of the day, you're going to need faith. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.